Hey everybody, this is True Disciple bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. I'm bringing you a matchup, a ZVT, and I'm trying to cast Zerg games as I really like Zerg, and I feel like there's really not enough of them. And so I happen to have this replay in the pack that was sent to me from the last game that I just cast and just posted. And so this is Yaz again playing. As I mentioned before, I've heard of Yaz before, but I hadn't seen any of his games previously. And I really liked his playstyle in the last. If you didn't watch the last game, I won't spoil it for you, but I really liked his playstyle in the last game, and so I definitely wanted to cast another game with him. And so he is playing the pink Terran in this the pink Zerg, pink Terran in this matchup. And here we have none other than DeLoAdEr playing the yellow Terran that I've cast quite a few games of already. And he is an extremely good Terran player. I really like his playstyle as well. Not sure what this match is. I'm not sure if it's any good or not. I have no comments about it or anything. It was just in the pack that I got, so I'm hoping that it's good. If it's really bad, then I won't post it. But considering it is Yaz and DeLoAdEr, I am assuming that it is a decent matchup. So let's hope for a good match here. So here we are on Steeps of War, and this is definitely this map is known for its extremely short rush distance. So there's oftentimes a lot of early harass in these matchups. Oh, and by the way, all the German that just went through there, I don't understand a word of it. So if anybody can translate that and put it, I really should. My wife's German. One of these days, I should probably start trying to learn German, but not for today. So if any of you Germans out there can post what they're actually talking about in the chat, as they are German players talking to each other. So, and here we go with Yaz doing the gas steal. I really love this technique, especially as I've mentioned in several of my casts before, especially against Terran. So, and here we see that Yaz is going for the early expansion. Let's bring out the production tab. He got his expansion before his spawning pool, so it looks like he went for a 14 hatchery, 14 pool or 13 pool, and going for the gas now. After the spawning pool is already a third of the way done, and his hatchery is about halfway done. And we see that a Marine is coming out to take care of the scout. One Marine already out, going to be taking care of this building here. And nothing else in particular going on for the moment. Yaz's Overlord moving slowly across the map to kind of check things out. These drones coming back from their scouting detour. And the spawning pool finally finishing up, so I'll be interested to see what Yaz goes for now. He's making some Zerglings for some early defense, as is very smart to do, as he definitely wants to make sure that he doesn't get early rush, as is oftentimes a problem. It's oftentimes this is a relatively easy to defend natural here. However, since the rush distance is so short, you really do have to be careful on this map if you're trying to do an early expo, especially if you're going hatchery over hatchery before spawning pool. So meanwhile, DeLoAdEr scouting around, trying to see what's going on in these two Zerglings, chasing him away. And let's see what we got going on over here for DeLoAdEr. DeLoAdEr coming out with 4 Marines, going to be able to take care of those Zerglings, no problem, killing one of them and chasing them away. Metabolic boost is now being researched for Yaz, and we see a reactor going down for DeLoAdEr and a factory. So I'm assuming that we're going to see some kind of Hellion harass here, which is really smart on this map. He's probably going to be lifting off this factory and dropping it down on this reactor over here, unless I'm completely wrong and he's planning on doing some kind of drop and making more Marines with the reactor. But I'm going to assume that it is for, and here he is, he's already building the first Hellion. So I think after this first Hellion, he didn't want to waste any time since the reactor was taking longer than the factory to complete, so he started building his first Hellion, and as we can see, he's not building any Marines here, so there he goes, and he's going to bring this factory over and drop it off there. Thank you for making me look smart, DeLoAdEr. I really appreciate that. And also do note that he is making the command center as well. Oh my goodness, I just said do note. I know that's a Huskyism right there. I definitely never say that ever, and I'm only saying it because I was just watching a couple casts of Husky. I apologize for that. So meanwhile, this Hellion coming in, if anything, he's going to get scouting information. Here we see an evolution chamber is down. I wonder, the only reason to get evolution chamber that early is for early upgrades, so we might be seeing some early upgrades for Yaz from that evolution chamber. Meanwhile, the Zerglings with the Speedlings trying to get a surround on this, and they do get a nice surround on those Hellions, but meanwhile 2 more Hellions are out, and as these Hellions start to stack up, it will get extremely difficult for Yaz to be able to defend against it. And they are also able to defend ramps so well, the Zerglings will not be able to do anything with these Hellions and Marines up here. There's no possible way you could have an endless stream. Well, maybe not an endless stream, but you could have a lot of Zerglings, and you would not be able to break this ramp right here with just Zerglings. So in the meantime, in production, we do have Zerg Ground Carapace going down. We have Stimpack being researched, so it looks like he's going to be doing this Hellion Harass and going into maybe an M&M kind of build, or maybe just mass Marines. And another Barracks going down, and we see a Baneling Nest, very smart, Baneling Nest going down for Yaz. He is going to be going for some Banelings. So, and we see a couple Spine Crawlers going down to help defend against this harass, but this is a massive amount of Hellions this early in the game, going to be able to deal some massive damage, and they're going to be able to roast. There go 2 down, 2 Zerglings. The Zerglings not able to deal with this many, there's no way Zerglings will be able to deal with this many Hellions unless they can get a really nice surround, and there are really, really a lot of them. And basically when they're backed into corners like this, they're just so deadly. And as long as DeLoAdEr micros them very well, which we've seen him in other games, he is extremely good with micro. Meanwhile, Yaz trying to move those to get them better, but oh man, so many Zerglings dying. There's about 10 Zerglings that went down there, 3 more, all the Zerglings now dead, and DeLoAdEr moving in. I think he lost 1 of his Hellions, which is definitely a fair trade. This Queen is gonna, oh man, I've never seen Queens go down to mass Hellion before, but it looks like we're gonna see that. But trying to get this around again with these Zerglings to take care of this, he might be able to take out 1 or 2 of these, not even 1 going down now, but just so many of these Hellions. Great micro coming from another one of them going down, but this harass extremely effective, definitely worth his time. Not able to kill any drones, but able to kill the Queen and so many Zerglings. Although let's check the units lost tab real quick to see how effective it has been. It has definitely been effective, as he has caused the loss. Although now that he has lost all of them, they are about even in units lost. But look at 37 units lost. So even though, keep in mind that even though Yaz only lost 150 minerals more worth of units, he also lost a lot of larva, and larva is an extremely important resource that people kind of discount for the Zerg, which I have been learning myself as I've been practicing and playing Zerg quite a bit now, as I swapped from Protoss to Zerg, as I mentioned in one of my previous games. And in fact, let's check the income tag to see real quick. But Yaz still, despite what I said there, I would have assumed that he would have been under on his drones, as I would have been under after a harass like that. But Yaz showing that he is an extremely good player and able to keep his macro up and keep his drone count up, although DeLoAdEr catching up in the income. And let's see, production tab, we see 3 more racks going down, so we see a 5 racks build coming from DeLoAdEr, and we see tanks coming out and siege tech on the way. We see shields going down. We see these Hellions kind of scouting around here to check out what's going on, making sure that the Zerg player is not being sneaky with any sneaky expansions. And we'll see if DeLoAdEr finds that anytime soon. So meanwhile, he's just keeping a scouting around. He's going to come up here and check these bases up here, see if anything's going on up here. Meanwhile, we see a couple more Spine Crawlers going down. We see Zerg melee attack level 1 going down. So he is sticking with the Zergling build despite these Hellions on the field. And so I'm wondering if that is the smartest idea, but maybe it is. He is going for Carapace, and that will help actually quite a bit, as these do 14 damage. I'll drop it down to 12 damage per attack, meaning that I think they need, well, you guys can do the math and tell me how many hits that takes to kill a Zergling. So, and meanwhile, he's just keeping to scout, but he hasn't scouted right here yet. He hasn't checked this out. These rocks aren't down, so if DeLoAdEr finds this base, he will be able to take it out pretty much no problem, as he'll be able to get to it as these rocks are not down. In fact, I think that Yaz should be taking down these rocks, unless I guess he is completely trying to hide it by not taking down these rocks. He has these here, and he should maybe start poking at these so he can get in here. These Banelings are now up, and that explains maybe the melee upgrade. As melee upgrade, keep in mind that it also does increase the volatile burst damage from Banelings, which is extremely powerful. We see Burrow going down, which is also very powerful. Banelings able to borrow them across the map and take out massive amount of units. We see centrifugal hooks being researched. Meanwhile, Zerg melee attack level 2. We're having some major attack upgrades going down here for our Zerg player, which is quite incredible. And meanwhile, this Spine Crawler, no problem, gonna get down, and they're gonna be able to go, oh, what a nice surround on those. Oh, DeLoAdEr losing all of those Hellions to that well-played surround by Yaz right there. Meanwhile, we see that Terran infantry level 1 weapons and armor are about to be finished researching, as well as vehicle weapons. Meanwhile, more siege tanks are coming out. So